The revolution that Hugo Chavez started has withstood its greatest trials. After several attempts from the United States to assassinate or remove Chavez and his successor, the representatives of the Bolivarian movement continue to hold power at the behest of Venezuela's voters. This movement was born out of an effort from Hugo Chavez and those who share his ideals to defeat the forces of colonialism and capitalism within Venezuela. Chavez extensively studied his country's history and came to teach history at a military college, and he was deeply aware of the injustices that his people had endured at the hands of imperialism. He was determined not just to make Venezuela's economy socialist, but to free the country from colonialism's dark legacy. The Venezuelan people gave him their help with this when he offered them a way out of the country's paradigm of neoliberalism, which ended after Chavez was elected in 1998. Venezuela has since experienced not just a reduction in poverty by more than a third and the vast expansion of social services, but a cultural shift beyond the country's formerly Americanized society. America's deadly sanctions against Venezuela and constant attacks against the country's democracy have made the United States into a menace in the view of much of Venezuela's people who voted in the Bolivarian movement's candidates in 23 out of the country's 25 past elections throughout the last 20 years. The project that all of these people have been carrying through is one where Venezuela frees itself from class divides, white supremacy, and imperialist control. The country is still very far from this. Venezuela continues to be partly controlled by a fascist-minded, US-backed capitalist class that's using political violence and malicious media propaganda to undermine the Chavista government. This corporate cabal's attempted coup arbiter Juan Guaido has received support from Venezuela's primarily white and upper-class right-leaning population. Venezuela's comfortable class is trying to regain the privilege it's lost amid the social reforms that Chavez and Maduro have made. Yet even amid all of this, Chavismo continues to be in power. No amount of American subversion or anti-Chavista propaganda from Venezuela's capitalist-controlled press can deter the majority of Venezuela's politically active people from voting in the Bolivarian movement candidates, or from carrying out anti-Trump protests that counter Guaido's right-wing demonstrations. As Nicolas Maduro himself said this month in an interview with the journalist Max Blumenthal, "We will always fight, and when I say we, I mean humble people, the millions of Venezuelans who have given us 23 victories in 25 elections, those Venezuelans who are not covered by CNN or Fox News, who continuously march in support of the revolution." How Venezuela will complete its path to complete socialist and indigenous liberation isn't exactly clear. There can be no 5-year plan for total advancement beyond capitalism when your country is perpetually under siege from the forces of imperialism and capitalist reaction. But the power of the core imperialist nations to harm Venezuela is waning as American power declines. The potential for an American invasion of Venezuela has already been diminished amid the efforts from Russia and China to militarily protect the country. The hand of American imperialism is decrepit and increasingly ineffectual, and 3/4 of the world's countries haven't even participated in this year's US-led effort to make Guaido internationally recognized as Venezuela's president. As the US continues to decline as a world power, and as the disastrous economic ramifications of neoliberalism causes global capitalism to lose its ability to function, socialist powers like Venezuela will grow stronger. Nicolas Maduro and his supporters have expressed their resolve for this downhill battle. Maduro also said in his interview with Blumenthal that the legitimacy of the Bolivarian Revolution, of Venezuelan democracy, the level of legitimacy of my leadership as President of the Republic, of the governors, of the mayors, of the constituent members, of the legislators is very high, and it's real. It's what the KKK of the United States does not want to understand. They don't want to understand that our legitimacy is real. We are real, just as this wood is. We are real. Our legitimacy is real. Certain, strong, real, certain, strong. Maduro continued, "This is why they fail and continue to fail, Max. Write it down. We're in 2019 and they have failed. They will continue to fail in their coup attempts, their destabilization. They will fail in everything. We will defeat them in everything, with votes, with the people, with democracy, with freedom, with institutions." It's been so difficult to defeat capitalist reaction within Venezuela because Chavez was impelled to take power through electoral means, which has historically been an ineffectual way to carry out a socialist revolution. But despite this setback for the Bolivarian Revolution, the story of Venezuela's attempt to liberate itself from capitalism isn't done being written. And the fact that it's already solidly broken from imperial control represents a tremendous step in this revolutionary process. As one of Maduro's supporters, Sigon Christov, wrote last month on Twitter, "Marxist-Leninism is alive and well in the region, my friends. The Bolivarian Revolution has withstood the most difficult tests." What does all of this mean for the responsibilities of the American socialists who want to help their Venezuelan comrades complete this revolution? It means we need to take action against our government and its imperialist actions. Please donate to organizations like Hands Off Venezuela and Code Pink, which will need more resources to help in the resistance against future Venezuela regime change attempts. Please support the alternative media and share information that combats the lies our media tells about Venezuela. It's our duty to assist the Venezuelan people in our shared fight against capitalism.